You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and Episode number 94 of the Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Friday, April 6th, 2023. Good Friday for those observing, and it is going to be a mostly sunny day here at the Beaver Lodge, and we're together. So, it's a good Friday either way, isn't it? Yes, I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly, and I see Kit Hugh here in the chat going, every day is a good day for beavers. Oh, is it? Kit Linda says, good morning, it's International Beaver Day. Is that true? Is there such a thing? Okay, I'm going to be looking that up. Hold on. Okay, because if so, wow, okay, great. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Kit Linda M says it is true. Well, there you go. Well, hello, kids, and welcome to International Beaver Day. Eh? Or day, D''EH. We have a Friday morning bite for you. Special bite because I was not supposed to be here. I was supposed to be on my way to Quebec City. Unfortunately, I have not been able to leave yet. There was a bit of an ice storm. About 1 million people lost power. About 700,000 still do not have power. Hydro-Quebec is expecting 80% of those who do not have power to have it restored by midnight. But yeah, there was up to 13 to 15 centimeters of ice accumulated on wires and on trees, so that caused a lot of havoc. And if you're out today, please beware of falling ice. So just a little caution there. But over here, it is going to be a mainly sunny day. And it will be good for travel. So yeah, I am still here, and I will be leaving later today. So we have some bonus beaver for you. But before we do anything else, we have to say hello to our good friend, our favorite critter, Mr. Grizzly. How are you today, and how's your mental health? You're looking fine.
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. I am well rested. I went to bed early last night, and of course I did have dreams, as I always do, but these ones were not off the rail.
Okay, good.
These ones actually completely were enveloped by this milieu here, this thing that we do, and with some other members of the network, and some streaming of our stuff on other it was just it was not unpleasant. It was a little bizarre because none of it made sense. When I woke up, I was like, do I need to reach out to a couple people and ask them? And then nope, none of that happened. But it wasn't disturbing. It wasn't upsetting. I slept right through the night. Just woke up and I'm like, takes a good 20, 30 minutes before I come to the realization that that was all in my head.
Mm. Yeah, I know that feeling. If you're listening, you can't see this, but there was some body language here.
think Bill Nighy in Love Actually when he's at the radio station being interviewed.
Oh wow. Okay. I have personal news.
Oh, do you now?
Yes, I do. Because everybody saw I'm sure everybody's seen history's most famous curling shot by now.
I've not.
You have not? Oh my word. We might, I don't know if we will get a thing for showing it.
Was it what network was it on?
It was on TSN.
Yeah, we'll get dinged.
We'll get dinged. Okay.
Yeah.
You have
if it's less than 30 seconds, though, we can show it. Less than 30 seconds, they don't ding you for it.
I think we can do less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, if you can do 30 seconds or less, we're fine.
Okay. I will look for it and I will show it. But everybody's talking about it. So, of course, everybody's wondering, well, what's happening in the beaver world of curling? Because, the kids are waiting breathlessly. Well, our men's foursome played yesterday at
That's sexist.
Oh, here we go again.
Come on, you
this
gotta
is why
have
we
fun.
can't have nice things. All right, so we played our match. We had really screwy ice. We had 4 different kinds of ice in one match. It was ridiculous. We were down by 3 at one point. It was ugly the entire way through. We scratched and clawed and scratched and clawed. And in the 7th end, we finally took the lead by 1, and we stole 1 in the last end to secure the win. We are going to the semifinals.
Cool.
I've been playing with this team. I think this is like my 6th year. We've never gone to the semifinals. Internal squealing for those listening at home.
You can't hear the squeal, but you can see it.
Squeeing and squealing.
Yeah. Okay, I've got two graphics to show you. Mildly offensive to some. First off, let's go with this one, which I'm very much on board with. Celebrate Holy Week by flogging a banker. It's what Jesus would have done. Matter of fact, it's what Jesus did. So I like that one. And then there's this one here, which might offend somebody, but I found it kind of funny, but I got a warped sense of humor. Jesus, table for 26, please. Mater D, there's only 13 of you. Jesus, but we're all going to sit on the same side. And it's the painting of The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. Now, I know that's going to offend somebody somewhere, but
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's right up my alley.
Right. I know that's going to offend somebody, and I'm not even going to apologize for it. I thought it was funny.
You have to rent a guide in a backpack for a 3-day trek through the woods to find. That's just funny.
It is. Somebody somewhere will be offended, though, because you can't do anything today without offending somebody, right? And it's never my intent to be offensive. It really isn't. But I thought that was funny. And if you're offended by it, I'm not sorry. That's your problem, not mine.
Let's just put it this way: we've had similar conversations about different things tickle each of our funny bones. There's 8 billion of us on the planet, and we're not all the same. So
No, we're not. No.
Just like,
well, I mean, and it's very mild. It's not racist. It's not sexist. It's not even bringing religion into the picture.
No, it's just about the perspective.
Yes.
It's about art.
It's about art. We're all going to sit on the same
This
side.
can't be an actual scene because nobody would actually ever sit that way.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. Before anything, we are human and we never sit on one side of the table.
No, 26 people. Table for 26, but there's 13 of you. We're all going to sit on the same side.
It's math humor.
Yes. Who doesn't like a good math joke early in the morning?
Right.
And I've got this one to send out to all the people freaking about the alcohol.
Okay. Just kids, remember, just oh my God.
All the people freaking out about Coors Light, Bud Light, and Jack Daniels being woke. It's the new brand of table salt. Die mad, you salty bitch. Your salty tears do not supply iodine, a necessary dietary ingredient.
And it's a little character in knee-high go-go boots doing a high kick with a perfect toe point, of course, holding an umbrella while it's raining, and the rain is not hitting it because under that umbrella, given that high kick, that little character is living its best life.
Yep.
It's like, hey,
hey girl, hey. Bitch.
I love it.
This is a good thing that Linda's pointing out here. This is interesting. Yes. Wouldn't the painting of the Last Supper be illegal in the state of Tennessee because they're men wearing dresses? Technically, I don't think you're wrong about that.
Oh, but they'll call them robes and then it'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, which state was it in that they passed a law that and the headline was a little specious. That they're now allowed to observe the genitals of students to see that they. I read the story. It was a Newsweek article, and the Newsweek article its reporting is a little bit more along the lines of these are what some pundits are saying this could lead to. So, the headline is meant to grab your attention, and it certainly did. I was like, what? It's Kansas. Yes, the state of Kansas. But I read the article and that's not exactly what it says. However, damn well it'll lead to that. Like the slippery slope is there.
Yeah.
It's disturbing to say the least.
Yeah. I always find that ironic that the people that are accusing everybody else of being pedos and groomers
are actually
just passed a law that could theoretically least allow, not allow, obligate some children to show adults their genitals. And for what purpose?
To play sports.
Prevent world hunger.
Yeah.
Prevent the transmission of cancer.
No.
Prevent a building from being bombed. No, from playing sports.
Yeah.
For shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
For shits and giggles.
Yeah,
but everybody else are the groomers and the pedos. No, I'm not saying that this makes them groomers or pedos. But we're not trying to pass laws that give us the permission to look at some people's genitals. No,
we're not.
I was like, if your whole intent is if genuinely your intent is to keep girl sports for girls and you don't want trans people in them, why do you still want a law that theoretically could allow people to ask your children to drop their pants?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I have the article. I have the article right here.
You can't want it that bad.
So it says Kansas GOP bill authorizes genital exams of school children, critics say. So it says Laura Kelly had rejected the bill dubbed the Fairness in Women's Sport Act on March 17th, as well as 2 previous attempts at similar legislation. Republican lawmakers who introduced the legislation suggested that it would be enforced during a physical examination, which critics have taken to mean a genital inspection. So, look, it's very open-ended. The headline is meant to grab your attention, and it certainly did that. And a lot of people just ran on the headline. I'm like, I got to read the article because I'm, and it doesn't matter what side of this you land on. Well, actually, it does. If you land on the side of we should inspect the genitals of school children to make sure that there's playing in the proper gender role that we deem that is, you know what I mean? That's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Could you read that line again?
Laura Kelly had rejected the bill dubbed the Fairness in Women's Sport Act on March 17th. Now, Laura Kelly is the state's Democratic governor, as well as 2 previous attempts at similar legislation. Republican lawmakers who introduced the legislation suggested that it would be enforced during a physical examination, which critics have taken to mean a genital inspection. Right?
Well,
it's a little open-ended, but it could certainly lead to that. We need to do a physical examination. Please explain in no uncertain terms exactly what that means.
Well, yeah.
What does that mean exactly? I need to know.
Okay, that's intentionally vague.
Exactly. Because it's left open to your own interpretation. I agree with you very much on this statement. It is obsessive and humiliatingly cruel.
Yep. And again, the cruelty is the point.
Yep.
And again, it's about, as I keep on saying, and this is not my saying. I heard it from Laverne Cox, who's a transgender actress. If you watch Orange is the New Black, I believe. Was she on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you know who I'm talking about. It's about limiting the right of transgender people to be able to exist in public space.
That's what it is.
The bathroom laws are so that there's only a certain range away from home that you can go in public for a certain amount of time. Not being able to participate in sports, not allowing kids to be kids, not allowing to get gender-affirming care, right? Against drag. Now, so because you know that the laws against drag, what's going to happen, because these people don't know the difference between drag and cross-dressing and being transgender, and
no, they just lump it all together.
They're all completely different. A lot of these things look the same on the outside, but they're completely different. They come from different places. So, they'll find a transgender person and then, accuse them of being in drag. Of course, right. So now you can't go outside as your authentic self at all. Now it's not just the bathrooms.
It's a way of controlling people's lives, period, because they are deemed unworthy by these right-wing evangelical Christo-fascist.
And we don't want to see them.
Yeah.
We don't hate them. We don't despise them.
We just don't want to see them.
We're being very godly. We just don't want to see them. Nobody needs to see that. We don't need to hear about it. That's why we don't say gay. And we always start about not saying gay to people from grade 3 and younger. And then it goes to grade 8. And then it goes to high school. And then it goes not at all. As we saw in Russia, it's the Putin playbook. Eyes wide open. Eyes wide open.
Welcome, BTR Radio, to the chat and the show. My good friend, John.
Wow. Hello.
The world's very first online Twitch broadcasting radio station. The very first in the world to do that. To have a license to broadcast his radio show on Twitch. Just thought I'd throw that in there because I think that's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Way to go. That's fantastic.
Check out BTR. blasttheradio.com, btr.com. It's a really good radio station, local here in Ottawa, but John also does work for a number of stations. So we appreciate it. And we always want to try and promote our our friends and our local personalities who are doing very much to make this world a better place.
Yeah. And Mr. Grizzly, since we were on the issue of transgender people not having the right to live their lives as their authentic selves, in Tennessee, I believe, you keep on saying how Gen Z is all right.
Gen Z, yes.
Gen
I
Z.
think they're great.
Gen Z is all right. Well, here we go, Mr. Grizzly.
Yeah, thousands of kids. Literally, I saw that all over the news in the last couple of days. And there were two Democratic Congress. No, sorry. What do you call it? Pardon? There were two Democratic individuals in the political sphere in Tennessee for state government. I don't know what you call it. I'm not up to date on that because they're not Congress people in the state. Representatives, I guess, who stood up and chanted with them. And then they immediately had one of the two removed, and they want to kick them out. State legislatures. Thank you, Linda. And one of the state legislatures that they had immediately removed, and the other one they didn't. The one that they had removed is black.
Yep. Well, let's talk about that. Yesterday in Tennessee, the legislature, which has 76 Republicans, 73 Republicans and 26 Democrats in it, voted 72 to 25 to expel a man named Justin Jones. Expel him from the legislature. Means he loses his seat.
Yeah.
His crime: holding up proceedings last week to join protesters demanding gun control legislation after the most recent March 27th Covenant School shooting. He stayed on the floor 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Longer. Two other people helped in that: Gloria Johnson and Justin Pearson. They had votes on them as well. Gloria Johnson was not expelled. Justin Pearson was expelled. The difference, because they all did the same things. Justin Pearson and Justin Jones are black men. Gloria Johnson's a white woman.
Isn't that peculiar how that happens to work out that way? Could it be racism? Oh, it is. And what was the crime again? They held up the legislature to stand arm in arm with the children, screaming about gun laws, gun regulations to protect them after a shooting, a mass shooting in a school again. And what do the Republican legislatures say? Nah, to hell with you. We don't care. We get our NRA money. That's all that matters. Your lives don't matter a thing to us. Pro-life. No, they're pro-birth. They don't give a shit about you. They care about two things. And I keep saying this over and over and over again. Power and money. Nothing more. They get the power, they pursue the money. If they can keep the both of them, they will hang on to it for as long as they can, and your life doesn't matter one bit to them. You can be damned. They don't care. Evidence presented itself just right now. We're talking about it. A black man was expelled. Two black men, were expelled. They've kicked them out of the legislature. They cannot sit anymore because they stood with the children asking for reform, for respectable, sensible gun reform. But the white woman, no, she wasn't kicked. She used her white privilege to call it out too from Linda. She said it was because of the color of their skin. You're absolutely right, Linda. That's exactly what it is. Nothing else. because she didn't get kicked out and she did the same thing they did. So please, if you can come up with a cogent argument to say that, oh no, Paul, it's not racism. I know you can't, because it's not possible, because it's blatant, in your face racism at a legislated government level. Not to mention the fact that they're also dumping all over these children who were murdered in class. And remember, where this school, this is not in an inner city urban setting. This is a private school for the wealthy elites that, oh, right, wealthy elites, they don't give a damn about them either. They don't give a damn about anybody but themselves, power, and money. Nothing more. And the evidence is so wide. It's everywhere. It's in your face. If you think any of these people care about your welfare, well, my friends, please tell me what color the sky is in your world, because I'd like those rose-colored glasses too. Because they don't care. They never have. They never will.
Yeah. I got something right here, Mr. Grizzly.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The world is watching Tennessee. The world is watching Tennessee. Because what is happening here today is a farce of democracy. What is happening here today is a situation in which the jury has already publicly announced the verdict. Just yesterday, the House Speaker took to national news to condemn us and call for expulsion before any evidence was presented, before any trial happened. And so what we see today is just a spectacle. What we see today is a lynch mob assembled to not lynch me, but our democratic process. But it will not stand, because no lie can live forever.
He went on to say, it's a sad day for Tennessee because it was signaled to the nation that there is no democracy in this state. It was signaled to the nation that if it could happen here in Tennessee, it's coming to your state next. And that's why the entire nation is watching us, what we do here. My prayer to you is that even if you expel me, that you still act to address the crisis of mass shootings, because if I'm expelled from here, I'll be back out there with the people every week demanding that you act. If you expel me, I'll continue to show up because this issue is too important. I've talked to too many students and mothers in tears this week, saying thank you for doing something. And so, if you expel me, I recognize that it's not just about expelling me, it's about expelling the people, but your action will do the exact opposite. It will galvanize them to see what is happening in this state. And it requires sustained action. And so I hope that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, regardless of what you decide to do to me, because this is not about me, but this is about those young people who are asking us to use our position and to uphold our oath, to protest and dissent from any action or legislation that is injurious to the people.
Those are some serious words, because, well, he's right. He nailed it. That's what we call a home run. That would be a grand slam home run in sports terms. A last-second field goal to win the game. I mean, look, not only did he nail it, but he's absolutely 100% correct. And we all know the only reason they expelled him, because he's a black man. Because they didn't kick the white woman out.
Mm-hmm. Now, people were expelled in Tennessee through only 3 other times in history.
This I didn't
know. In
know.
1866, 6 members were expelled for their contempt of the authority of the House. In 1980, a member was expelled for seeking a bribe in exchange for tanking legislation. And in 2016, a member was expelled following an investigation after 22 women had alleged sexual misconduct. And now in 2023, one black man, 2, yes, but 1 black man was expelled for holding up the proceedings on the floor for 15 seconds to stand with people protesting to be able to go out for milk without getting shot, for example, or get an education without getting shot, or go to church without getting shot.
I saw a tweet yesterday from a fella here in Ottawa who overheard a conversation, if I remember correctly, about American friends of his. And one of them, the children were asking to get, the sneakers that when you walk, they light up. Have you
Mhm.
seen those?
Yeah.
And the child wanted them, and the parents said, no, you can't have them and wear them to school because you could be highly visible in a mass shooting incident and become a target. I'm like, that's a gut punch, man. I like it. You're denying the child a childhood thing because it could put their life in jeopardy. And it's not like they're skateboarding without a helmet, trying to do a half pipe without a helmet. It's a pair of shoes they want to wear to school. And they can't wear the shoes because they could become a target. It's like, that is just, man, it just freaks me out on a level I can't explain. When somebody says, well, children, from the age of whatever are well trained in active shooter drills, I'm like, what? That's a thing? I know it's a thing, but it still shocks me. But here's what's interesting. All of these children all throughout the United States over the last 20 years have been involved in active shooter drills. Many of them have been in active shooting moments, like the Parkland kids. And those kids are largely on the spectrum of voting age. Many of them already are. Guess what? Republicans? Guess what? Your days are numbered because these kids, the ones that have been shot down in school just for attending, the ones that have been murdered in cold blood, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it while you take more NRA lobby money. Guess what? Your days are numbered as a party. Your days of pulling this crap are numbered.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
as these children become voting age, guess what? They know you did nothing to protect them. And your job in government, your number one job is to protect your people, period. That's your first priority.
Well, not only did they say nothing, they did nothing to protect them, but they used the opportunity not to protect them to also just throw in a little racism. Why not?
Yeah, let's just pile it on, right?
I guess, and
Let's just
anti-democracy and autocracy. And I was like, it's like, not only do I not care that kids are getting shot, and not only do I care even less, right, if it has anything to do with trans kids getting shot, right? And not only do I not care about democracy, and not only do I not care about race, and I mean, they're just all throwing it one on, like every next move is just, the mask is completely off, right?
Oh, yeah.
The mask is completely off.
Well,
So,
I don't think it's a
mean,
mask. I think it's a white pointed hood, but that's
yes,
my opinion.
but that's a generation that's lost to them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's completely lost to them, right?
Now, that's not to say that some members of Gen Z are been indoctrinated at a very young age into right-wing Republican Christo-fascism. There's certainly that swath of the population. But I would tend to think that there's a larger swath of the population that absolutely does not want to be gunned down for going to school.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, well, let's call it what it is. The two black men got a little too uppity.
That's exactly what it is.
Right. So, because I hear, see Kit Hugh here in the chat saying, how can one expel an elected representative of the people for speaking? For physical violence, sure, but for expressing their thoughts. But that's the thing, is they didn't expel him for expressing their thoughts. I mean, that's what they did. But, in the procedures, that's not what they did. Right. In a series of tweets Monday, the Speaker of the House, Cameron Sexton, called the Democratic lawmakers' actions unacceptable, adding they broke several rules of decorum and procedure on the House floor. And then, of course, being that everything gets blown up into superlatives, the Republicans, state Republicans, were considering this like pretty much equivalent to January 6th. Like, this was a coup and he must absolutely be dealt with and removed. So again, because if we're not connecting the dots here, right? If we're just looking at each tree, oh my God, this is awful. We just have had Republicans on the record saying that holding up the House floor for an extra 15 seconds breaks decorum so badly that you need to be expelled, while at the same time, when it comes to the tangerine tornado, huh?
Talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Huh?
Yeah.
He should be
Hypocrisy.
reinstated as president immediately.
Hypocrisy. Hippocrates is spinning in his grave. You know that. He's like, oh, come on, man. Come on.
And since we're on it, because I'm sorry, kids, that I said yesterday, I think, or the other day, I'm sorry that this week has been very U.S. focused, but we thought it was going to be very U.S. focused simply because, well, for the first time in the United States, a president is being held accountable, and that's historic. So you kind of can't not cover it. But today, there is a whole bunch of crap going. It's like everybody decided, okay, we need a distraction, so the poop hit the fan everywhere. So in Tennessee, you got Republicans just deciding, right? You do one tiny little thing that upsets our sensibilities, and we'll expel you now.
Mm-hmm.
In North Carolina, there's a Democrat, somebody that got elected as a Democrat by 20 points, victory margin, who suddenly switched parties and decided that she is Republican, giving them a veto-proof supermajority because some Dems hurt her fifis.
That's the sigh of
Supermajority. Now, banning abortion, banning teachers from acknowledging that rainbow people exist, banning gender affirming, that's now all on the menu because feelings.
The Handmaid's Tale is not a freaking instruction manual, people. Stop it.
According to Vanity Fair, on Wednesday, North Carolina State Representative Tricia Cotham announced at a press conference that she was becoming a Republican because the Democratic Party had changed since she was first appointed to the North Carolina House of Representatives in 2007, and because some Democrats weren't nice to her. Quote, "The modern-day Democratic Party has become unrecognizable to me and to so many others throughout this state and this country because the party you joined is not become any less recognizable."
It ain't the party of Lincoln, people.
The party wants to villainize anyone who has free thought, free judgment, has solutions, who wants to get to work to better our state, not just sit in a meeting and have a workshop after workshop, but really work with individuals to get things done, because that's what real public servants do. If you don't do exactly what the Democrats want you to do, they will try to bully you. They will try to cast you aside. Have you been paying attention?
She was a Republican all along. Come on, this is ridiculous. She was a sleeper agent. Come on, she can't be that daft. Really. Well, I like this statement here. People that want to flip parties like that should have to resign and run under the new party.
According to the New York Times, Cotham claimed that women in the House caucus had started vicious rumors about her, and that a woman criticized her and her 12-year-old son while they were shopping at Target.
Can I pivot to beer for a second? I've got another good one for you.
We still got another 2 scoops of crazy for you.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to pivot back to beer for a second. I'm going to show you this tweet, and then I'll show you the tweet, and then I'll show you the response from a person that I've been following for a while on Twitter. So this is from Sharing the Journey at Sharing the Jur 2. I have officially made the switch. Went to the grocery store today and bought Miller Lite beer to replace my woke Bud Light beer. No more supporting woke companies with my hard-earned money. Go woke, go broke, Budweiser at Budweiser. And the response from my friend Jack persists, Lady J. Jax, Miller Lite partnered with the Equality Federation and started a program called Open and Proud. And they sell a
Yeah, they
book
did.
called Beers and Queer History on their website.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I've had a really horrible week, but at least I didn't get my feelings hurt by beer.
Okay, you need to send me that. Now, kids, let me explain something to you. All right. These people, what they have a problem with is, believe it or not, capitalism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One of the reasons gay people became a very interesting demographic in the late 80s and 90s, called the pink dollar, was DINK, double income, no kids.
Yep.
Gay men in particular, there's a difference between lesbian couples because, of course, pay equity, women get paid less.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are working at your office and you have nobody to go home to and you have no kids to take care of, and because you might be worried that you're found out that you're gay and might lose your job, you become a really big time overachiever and then get all the promotions. And then you find someone also like that. And you have no alimony, no child support. And at the time, you weren't allowed to get married, and you weren't allowed to adopt, so you had all that money to spend only on yourselves.
Yep.
Capitalism, darlings, capitalism. And here's another thing. The only place that we were allowed to gather until we were allowed to be gay 365 days a year, 24/7, was a gay bar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We drank.
A lot.
A lot. A lot.
One needs to drown
Wanna know-
one's sorrows.
You want to know how much we drink as a gay community? I went on an all-gay cruise once. RSVP cruises. I'm not sure they exist anymore, but there's such thing as all-gay cruises. And they told the story of why it is on these cruises that we need to pay for booze. Because the very, very, very first time they did this, they did a cruise like they do for mostly elderly people, and the booze was included. And by the time they reached their first port, they had to restock the entire boat. We drank a whole cruise worth of booze in about a day and a half. They lost money on that first one.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
We drank.
That seemed like a good idea at the time. Ooh.
And we also tip very well.
So somebody in marketing didn't do their research. Or somebody in marketing was in the closet and said, this is how we can get a lot of free alcohol. We'll only be able to do this once.
You're going to have to work. Let me save you a lot of trouble, people. You're going to have to work very hard to find a booze or an alcohol company that is not rolling around in bed with us and having a wonderful time.
It's true. It's true. I saw a tweet yesterday from a woman. I saw a tweet yesterday from a woman. I'm going to see if I can find it because I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. You can't be that stupid, are you? Yeah, you're clearly that stupid. She went to something to the effect of, let's see here. Where is it? I'll find it. We'll just keep rolling while I look for it. She went
this way. We have money to afford stuff like this.
Yeah. It was to the effect of, and I can't find the tweet right now, but it was to the effect of, that's it. No more Jack Daniels for me. I don't like this decay of society by supporting these degenerates. And I was like, lady, it's alcohol. You want to talk about a contributing factor to the decay of society, the moral decay of society? Alcohol is the biggest contributing factor. Gay, straight, bi, trans, none of that matters. Alcohol is one of the largest contributing factors to the general decay of society. And I like alcohol. But facts are facts. What I'm like, these people are so stupid. And they advertise it for all the world to see. I can't take part and support the general downfall of society while this alcohol company supports transgender. And drag races, that's terrible. That's disgusting. The moral decay of society. Lady, you're getting shit-faced at the bar while your kids are outside waiting in the car. Come on. Come on, idiots. I'm like, really? How stupid do you have to be? Apparently, very stupid. The statement alone, like, did you read what you just wrote before you hit send? Because no, you didn't. It's just, some days you just sit there and go, how do you get out of bed and go to work in the morning? Do you have a job? How do you breathe and walk? Can you walk and chew gum? Can you breathe and chew gum? Like the stupid stuff coming out of your mouth.
Mr. Grizzly, let's give the kids who are watching a visual.
Yes, here we go. Jack Daniels teams up with RuPaul Drag Race alums in Small Town Big Pride campaign. Jack Daniels, Tennessee Fire presents Drag Queen Summer Glamp. BT Dubs, Travis Tritt, and they sent all kinds of pictures of him very much in drag with like spangly leather. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. Okay. Swinging his hips with his eyeshadow on and the blue fringe. Look at come on, Travis Tritt. Dude, really? You're mad about a drag queen? By the way, that took place in the summer of 2021. Oh, that's a cute one. My tour. Yeah, we're going to try and put Budweiser out of business. Budweiser is Labatt InBev, which is the world's largest brewery, which has over 200 brands. You're not putting anybody out of business. And look, I'm not one to support the products that they make. There's a few that I do like, but most of them I don't particularly care for. But you really think you're going to put a dent into Budweiser's bottom line? Then they went for Coors because of Coors Light. And I'm like, well, that's Molson Coors. And then Miller Lite. Oh, you're not hurting any of these companies. And if anything, the gay community will just go, oh, bitch, you messed with the wrong queen. And we'll just stock up on it to spite you.
We drink. And that, kids, is how you go from Travis Tritt to Travis Twit. Or Travis Tritt in one tweet.
Well, here's a good one. Here's a great little graphic I'm going to show you here. If it loads, here's a good one.
It's like a cue. Bitch, that is awesome.
I'd like to buy this Bud Light. Why? For spite. I got another one here for you. Let's see if I can find it. It was a good one. I wrote it down. It was a good one. Oh, here we go. This is reminiscent of a scene from the very first Jurassic Park film and the actor who played the character of Newman on Seinfeld. So I thought there's a 6 degrees of separation. This is, hey, everyone, this guy doesn't like gay Bud Light. See? Nobody cares.
Oh, man. And poor kid, man, right? He's getting it, right? Because there are pictures of him in a bar having a Bud Light, standing right next to a drag queen. And if you see the picture, as I mentioned on Dean's show, everybody can get caught at a picture at the most unfortunate moment.
Yes.
The way his lips are on the bottom.
Like he's filleting that bottle. There's Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh. Here's what we should do. Pick a victim, gang up on it, and make an example of it. We can't boycott every woke company or even most of them, but we can pick one. It hardly matters which, and target it with a ruthless boycott campaign. Claim one scalp, then move on to the next. Isn't that cancel culture? Charlie Kirk. I agree, Matt. Let's start with Budweiser. Since 2008, it's been owned by a Dutch multinational. Plenty of American-owned alternatives, and it's an awful product. Let's put Budweiser out of business. What you? I responded with, you think you're going to put the world's largest brewer with over 200 brands out of business? Is Coors next on your hit list? How about Jack Daniels? Okay, Snowflake. Good luck with that. These woke, F your feelings, anti-cancel culture. All of a sudden, they're the cancel culture snowflakes who have their feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. The F your feelings crowd really has a lot of feelings, don't they?
Oh yeah, lots of feelings, I guess, and so few words to express them.
Dude, They are spinning around, freaking out, wetting their pants, and I am here for it. This is what we call comeuppance. Comeuppance.
Mr. Grizzly, if you will.
Happy to. Yeah. A little bit of fellation taking place there in that beer bottle. Fellatio. Phil-atio, fella that works.
But I'm not one to gossip, Kit, so you didn't hear it from me.
No. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. We're just asking questions, as they always like to say. We're just asking questions.
Man. So, Kid Rock.
Can't believe Pam Anderson married that shriveled up, dried out testicle of a human being.
Yep. And then, of course, this so upset the kid that he was driven to Mr. Grizzly.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Fuck Bud Light. Fuck Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
So I have two questions. First off, was that a fully automatic weapon? Seemed fully automatic to me. So that's a felony right there, number one. And number two, how small is his penis that he's so threatened by woke beer? Can we get Pam Anderson on the phone? She'd be able to give us the details. No messing with Pam. I love Pam Anderson. I think she's gone through some terrible stuff in the media and the way they've portrayed her for years. Love Pam Anderson. I think she's a wonderful person and a good mother. So I'm not picking on Pam. Please understand that. I'm not picking on Pam. Mm. She should be protected at all costs.
Okay, number one, Mr. Grizzly. If Kid Rock is so upset by woke beer, nobody should tell him about the subterfuge of woke chocolate. Tasty subterfuge. A fudge. But two, can you losing mastery of yourself to the point of doing that? Because Budweiser offered a human being some cans with their face on it
which you can't buy,
available for public sale.
That's right. It was made for her and her alone. That was it. It's not, you can't buy them, which makes it a very large collector's item when you think about it.
Forget how tiny is your penis. How tiny is your life?
Oh, very apparently.
This is what I don't understand. This is, and here's why I pity them. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? See, I can't imagine. I'm hardwired for optimism, and I laugh at almost everything. Right? I mean, I laugh from my gut, my soul. Living in a world so dark that everybody who's different in a world of 8 billion people, most people are going to be different.
Go figure.
Everything about everything that is different exists for the sole purpose of oppressing you and making your life hell. That is not a life.
No.
I laugh, yes, but my first feeling is pity.
Oh yeah, absolute pity for somebody who gets so bent out of shape.
24/7 a day, so I gotta do something.
I know, but it's somebody who gets so bent out of shape about somebody else having themselves celebrated. Like how small is your life? See, I'll get bent out of shape when inequity, inequality, racism, and hatred is on. But I mean, this is celebration of a human moment. This is celebration of a human being. This is Are we still there? Are we still on?
Yeah, you're there. I
I
think
lost
your
my feed.
processor must have slowed you down for a little bit there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was choppy. Well, what I was trying to say, because I looked at it and I go, oh, I don't think I'm online.
Yep.
I don't know what's... Hang on, let me just close something here in the background. Something else is slowing it down.
I've kind of figured out that was when I'm with the screens happening and you're the one that stops moving, I don't need to log out. If I'm the one that stops moving, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Something's slowing my system down. I'm just going to close everything in the background so that I don't have that worry.
You seem to be okay now, though.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So what I was saying was, like, how small is your life that you have to get upset about somebody celebrating a joyous moment in somebody else's life? That I'll get bent out of shape for. But when you that I wouldn't get bent out of shape for. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's like this person's life has been celebrated by an international brand. And you're so upset by it that you have to stand up and shout and yell. And look, I stand up and shout and yell too, but I do it against racism, hatred, sexism, inequality, homophobia, like transphobia, Islamophobia, all the phobias. And what are the... I don't know if the often seen quote online attributed to Morgan Freeman of, you're not homophobia, you're not homophobic, you're just an asshole. You're not afraid of somebody who's gay. How could you be afraid of somebody who's gay? They don't affect your life in any way, shape, or form. Unless you're holding me down and trying to stick your penis in my body, you're not affecting me. You're not affecting me in any negative way whatsoever when you ask to be treated as an equal, when you ask for an equal space in society. It's not pie. There's room for all of us.
Right? There's room for all of us.
There's room for all of us. How is this
There's
complicated?
always an extra chair somewhere.
Yeah.
Or something you can make a chair.
And if you show up at the party and you don't like what's going on, leave. You don't... It's not an airport. It's not a departing flight. You don't have to make the announcement that you're leaving. Just go.
Yes, and not every party is for you.
Exactly. And there's an example of white privilege where especially cis-het white males think that they have the right to be everywhere. And it's like, this gathering space is not for or about you. You want to be an ally or supporter? Stand in the back and shut your mouth. And if we need you, we'll call you forward to the front. Otherwise, we don't need you here. It's like, how do you not get that?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. Yes, you're absolutely right too, Linda. Lifting someone else up doesn't make us go down. It's not a teeter-totter. It's not.
Right.
It's not. Lifting someone else up just gives them the opportunity to see what you see across the fence. I need a coffee. Sorry, I'll be right back. You're on your own for 55 seconds.
55 seconds. All right. Okay. There's one more little bit of I know that I'm trying to make a commitment to not use the word crazy in a flippant manner. Right? Sensitive to dealing with mental health issues, and as the kids know, we start every show asking about Mr. Grizzly's mental health because mental health is something that's very important to us. But I don't know what other word. So in the colloquial sense, but so we're having shootings. Nobody wants to do anything about it. People tried to storm the Capitol on the 6th. And while justice is happening, it is happening rather slowly. And it's... While hopefully it will be ultimately satisfying, it's not particularly cathartic. I mean, that happened on January 1st, 2020, January 6, 2021, and we're in April 2023 before we had an arraignment day. So often we're feeling that things are not necessarily moving with the urgency that things would require. And we're seeing over 385 bills introduced in state legislatures all across the United States, trying to affect negatively people who are trans or gay or lesbian, or anything else in the rainbow. And then states not only trying to limit access to reproductive health care, but now trying to make it impossible for you to go out of state to get it, or to even get it in form of Plan B. Or so you just, there's a lot going on. Right?
Welcome to Gilead.
And on top of all of this, right? Somebody going to flipping to Republican, giving their state a super veto-proof majority because her feelings got hurt, and on top of all of this mountain of, again, I can't find another word other than crazy, because it's just, and I'm saying, I was telling the kids, I'm trying to not use the word crazy flippantly, right? And I just can't. If somebody has a better word, please, I'm willing to change it. But it just, this mountain of blah. We have Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who was found out after a ProPublica investigation that for years he's been taking luxurious trips on the bank account of Republican mega donor and real estate magnate Harlan Crow.
Isn't that illegal?
And that this has been going on for more than 2 decades. And this has been going on annually, and sometimes several times annually. And when I say extremely luxurious trips, right, this is not superlative. In late June 2019, Justice Thomas and his wife, Ginny, who is a whole other kettle of fish unto herself, lots of private texts between her and Mark Meadows, I think it was, during the insurrection. Why does she has a direct line? I don't know. But anyway, I digress. Justice Thomas and his beloved Ginny boarded a very large private jet to Indonesia for 9 days of island hopping on board a luxury yacht staffed with a whole menagerie of attendants and private chefs. Chartering the plane and the over 140-foot yacht on his own dime would have cost him about $500,000 if he were making the trip on his own dime. But he has a friend, Harlan Crow. He has also gone to Crow to an exclusive all-male retreat called Bohemian Grove.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening.
I do not know anything about Bohemian Grove because I just heard that this morning and I have not been able to research it. But interesting how all these people seem to really like time with the boys. I'm thinking of like Nick Adams. Often like this, having meals with the boys. Here I'm on the beach, like foursomes with the boys. And it's like, do you, again, talking about having foursomes with the boys? I'm just
closet to the handle door. Find it, dude.
Oh, honey.
Handle to the closet door. I said that backwards. I do that sometimes.
Handle to the closet door. 2468. Is your boyfriend really straight? Anyway,
my dyslexia. One of the things about being dyslexic is every now and then you'll have an argument with somebody over the existence of dog. Anyway, I have a.
So no. I'm not.
Keep going. Keep rolling.
Keep rolling. No. And also, so in addition to that 9-day island hopping in 2019 and the trip to the Bohemian Grove, exclusive all-male retreat, there is also trips to Mr. let's call him Mr. Sugar Daddy at the moment, sprawling ranch in East Texas. And also, he spends time annually at his private resort in the Adirondacks. The judge gets around.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Sugar Daddy. Oh, I love my sugar daddy.
Who was the singer of that song again? I can picture her face. I can't think of her name right now.
Oh God, yeah.
She was
I
Canadian
keep on
too.
thinking France Gall. It's not France Gall. Yes, she was Canadian.
It was a big hit in the late 70s. Canadian big hit. It was a disco. It was huge. Actually,
yes,
it hit the U.S. charts too, if memory serves.
yes. Oh, Patsy Gallant.
There you go. I knew it was Patsy, and I wanted to say
Gallant.
Klein, but I knew Klein was not correct. Patsy Gallant. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, Patsy Gallant.
Or as they said in Ontario, Patsy Gallant. Bobby Boucher. No, that's Boucher. Okay, fine. Pronounce it. It's your name. Pronounce it any way you want.
Okay, so Linda Sam says Bohemian Grove is a very super secret thing that a lot of super rich people go to. There are all sorts of rumors about what goes on there.
It's kind of like
so I'm
Epstein
doing
Island.
a little Wikipedia. Bohemian Grove is a restricted 2,700 acre campground at 20601 Bohemian Avenue in Monte Rio, California, United States, belonging to a private San Francisco-based gentlemen's club known as the Bohemian Club. Okay, well, all-male membership includes artists, musicians, many prominent business leaders, government officials, former U.S. presidents, senior media executives, and people of power. Let's see. Let's see what the Bohemian Club is about then. The Bohemian Club is a private club with two locations, a city clubhouse in the Nob Hill district on San Francisco, California, and the Bohemian Grove, a retreat north city of Sonoma County. Okay, a city clubhouse. At the corner of Taylor Street and Post Street. The City Club is located in a 6-story masonry building at the corner of Post Street and Taylor, 2 blocks west of Union Square. Each year, the club hosts a 2-week-long, 3-weekends camp. But my God, this sounds. I'm not going to say. In my culture.
Look, sounds pretty gay to me. Sounds oh so gay. My goodness gracious, my friend, that could not be. Could that be a gayer place?
This sounds pretty fabulous. In my culture, for the kids who are not aware, there's the leather community, and the leather community is not necessarily associated with BDSM, but often is.
Yeah, not necessarily.
And the leather community, yes, and the leather community in the gay community, as opposed to the heterosexual community, which is more based on Victorian such things, is based more on military traditions, because when people came back from the war, some of the men missed the camaraderie of that time, and hence motorcycle clubs.
Tom of Finland,
but hence motorcycle clubs. And there was a mix of then sort of S&M with those types of protocols. And there are often 2-week retreats where, let's just say that a lot of clothing is optional, and there are tents and stations where certain activities occur, and the resort is completely sealed off and not accessible to the public. Like completely sealed off as in sometimes we put tarps around the fence all around so that nobody can see in what is going on in there. Now, I will leave it to your imagination to guess what happens at a resort for a week or two. So, yeah. I'm not saying that this is what's going on there,
Mm.
but oh boy, does it rhyme very, 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 very much with with certain activities that happen in our culture. And I will just leave it at that.
Strange things happen under the lights of the midnight sun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, right, as Ellen says, as long as no one is getting hurt, go do it. Let your freak flags fly, honey. But there's a lot of people that don't want to know about this stuff, so they don't expose themselves to any information about this stuff. So it's like, oh, a gentleman's club. Though the boys are just getting together. This sounds... Mm-hmm. I I keep on having this joke about when like people are being parsimonious with the truth, where you tell your partner that you're going to watch the football game with the boys and you're having a few beers. And while that is true, you kind of conveniently and strategically omit to tell your partner that also in attendance will be a couple of sex trade workers that you've hired, and in addition to the beer there will be other substances, and the reason that you are staying overnight is not because you have drunk so much that you can't drive.
That's the excuse.
It's because you can't walk.
That's the excuse.
So yes, you were at your friend's place and you did have beers and the game was on for a while.
Who won? I don't know. I fell asleep. Okay, sure you did. Yeah. Uh-huh. Force him with the boys.
It's an all males resort and it's a gentleman's club.
Yeah. Okay. Draw your own
Could
conjecture.
Could be.
Draw your own conclusions.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could very be that it's just guys, for 2 weeks just having paints together and, saying, take my wife, please. Or it could be take me. Anyway, so Clarence Thomas. Yes, the trips appear nowhere in his financial disclosures. And that became law after Watergate.
Yeah, so he's in
After
hot water.
Well, you would think,
Well,
right?
he should be in hot water.
Yes. Laws were put in place at that time forcing justices, judges, members of Congress, and federal officials to report most gifts and most especially free trips, especially $500,000 trips on 140-foot yachts.
Yeah.
And of course, this is from a man who, while being interviewed recently for a documentary about his life that was financed by, what's his name again? Harlan Crow. Said this about himself. I don't have any problem with going to Europe, but I prefer the United States, and I prefer seeing the regular parts of the United States. I prefer the RV parks. I prefer the Walmart parking lots to the beaches and things like that. There's something normal to me about it. I come from regular stock, and I prefer that. I prefer being around that. Every man. Justice Thomas. On a yacht, but he prefers Walmart parking lots in public, he says. And Supreme Court justices are supposed to be on the court because of their what's this get good
moral upstanding judgment. Does he like truck stops too? I bet you he likes truck stops.
The judgy people we hire to judge stuff are supposed to have good judgment, and this is not it. There's a law.
Anita.
And he's been doing this for 20 years, and I think math is not my strong point, kiddies, but I do believe that Watergate happened before 2003.
Yeah, 1972.
So, and he became a Supreme Court justice knowing apparently the law. I think that's what you're supposed to know when you become a Supreme Court justice. So he would know that he was supposed to. I'm sure he got some training at some point. And for 20 years, he's been flouting the law. 20.
Apparently, sometimes I don't watch the news.
But it's his first offense.
Yes.
20 years.
In 20 years, the first time he's done this. Yeah.
20 years. Yeah. On a July 2017 trip while traveling with Thomas were executives from Verizon and PricewaterhouseCoopers and one of the leaders of the American think tank American Enterprise Institute. There's even a painting of Thomas showing him in conversation with Leonard Leo, who's a leader of the Federalist Society, one of the architects of the current pro-white supremacy Supreme Court. Or the SCROTUS, as I like to call it.
So Supremes are required to report gifts exceeding $415 US. That would be $420 Canadian.
And apparently during his tenure, Clarence Thomas was taking these trips and gifts while he was ruling on a case that now makes it next to impossible to charge public officials with bribery. Which, according to our friends at the Daily Beans, is probably the reason for which Matt Gaetz was not charged for helping his friend Dr. Hands get that marijuana license. Along with the whole Venmo and the bringing people across, international lines and all that kind of stuff, and
sex trafficking
on the Molly sex parties. And that's the other thing, right? Also, because
that was Josh Hawley,
Gaetz,
though, wasn't it? Not Matt Gaetz.
No, Matt Gaetz.
He spilled the beans?
No, Pete Gaetz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he spilled it, yeah. Well, no. Oh, no. Well, there was Madison Cawthorn
Madison
as
Cawthorn,
well.
yes, not Josh Hawley.
But with Matt Gaetz, there was when they were talking about bringing the underage to certain places, those parties were fueled with stimulants.
Yes.
Yes, they mentioned that. So again, right? I mean, parties with stimulants with people who are barely legal and all men's resorts. Again,
draw your own conclusion. We'll just give you the paint by numbers. You fill in the colors. Let's go back to Tennessee for a second.
Okay, I think that was all I had on Clarence Thomas.
I figured as much.
Yep.
See, I can almost read your mind. Justin J. Pearson for Tennessee State Representative District joined the Justice Movement. You said his name earlier and I heard it, but now I look at it in writing. Justin Pearson. Yeah. So the first name of our current prime minister and the surname of one of Canada's greatest prime ministers.
And the other guy booted was also named Justin Jones.
Do you see a pattern here? They don't like
just intolerant.
They're just intolerant. They don't like so the idea of social democracy. Hashtag just intolerant. Yes. Justin Pearson. That's the two good names, man. Two good names. It's one of those things you see it in writing and it resonates differently than when you hear it.
They're movie star names too.
Yeah.
Justin Pearson in Defending Democracy.
One man on a mission to defend democracy. Justin Pearson stars as your state representative for the state of Tennessee. He will make sure that guns are removed from classrooms so that children are protected. I should have switched to my studio mic for that, but One man on a mission.
Yeah. So the Wisconsin Supreme Court flips. That's good. In Madison's 15th district, a lady named Dina Nina Martinez Rutherford becomes the first alder, which is like a city councilman, but the first person elected in the state of Wisconsin who happens to be transgender, by 54 votes. Again, every vote counts. So there is some good news. But yeah, it's a whole load of wackadoodle.
I have
United States, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, I do have a little clip here of some good news.
Let's switch it up.
I just came across. This is actual good news. I'm going to put this on the screen and I'll read it for the audio-only
right.
version. From Pete Hickman on Twitter,
Yes.
at PJHVAN. Good news, Canadian followers. A private clinic in British Columbia charged under the Medicare Protection Act has had its appeal rejected by the BC Supreme Court. There won't be privatization of healthcare in British Columbia. This is good news.
Yes.
This is good news because they were basically in violation of the Canada Health Act. And I like the fact that the British Columbia Supreme Court said, yeah, you're in violation. You can't do that. Bye. We're not doing this. We're not having this. That's good because that's a provincial matter, right? I mean, federally, there's the Canada Health Act, which is a federal thing, but each province, how the dollars get doled out and what they do, as evidenced by the province of Ontario, where they're increasing private surgical clinics that we are funding with our tax dollars. Thank you, Doug Ford, you greedy asshole. And nurses haven't had a pay rise in years, so now they're getting scooped up by the dozen to go work for twice the amount of money in a private for-profit healthcare situation that, again, we built with our tax dollars, and they will accept our OHIP cards there, but for other procedures, you'll just pay $3,800. They're robbing us blind.
Yep. So the BC Court of Appeal has unanimously upheld a lower court's dismissal of a Vancouver surgeon's challenge of the Medicare Protection Act, saying bans on extra billing and private insurance do not violate the charter. The court did find the lower court judge erred in his analysis of the right to life and said in its ruling on Friday that the Act's provisions so deprive some patients not only to the right to security of the person, but to the right to life. This is from a Global News article that I'm reading at the moment. However, the court ruled that the breach can be overruled by Section 1 of the Charter, which says that rights can be limited if they are shown to be reasonable in a democratic society. We are extremely pleased with today's decision from the BC Court of Appeal, said Health Minister Adrian Dix. This ruling emphasizes the importance of our strong public health care system, which is a cornerstone of our Canadian identity. The purpose of the Medicare Protection Act is to have a publicly managed healthcare system for BC in which access to necessary medical care is based on need and not on an individual's ability to pay. The BC Nurses Union also supported the decision. And the case comes from a challenge filed by Dr. Brian Day of the Cambie Surgery Centre, who challenged the act, saying that wait times in the public health system are too long and stopping patients from paying for those services outside the public system violates their rights. So that was the case, and the Supreme Court basically said, nope.
And I should add, it was both Supreme Courts, the Supreme Court of Canada and the BC Supreme Court, that struck it down.
I don't have information about the Supreme Court.
I'm just getting a note here. There are two separate cases. One was rejected by the Supreme Court of Canada, the other by BC Supreme Court. So two separate cases.
Okay. I don't know what the Supreme Court case is. I was not aware of that part.
No, I just came across my feed now. So sometimes trying to get all the information parsed together into a coherent storyline is difficult.
Okay,
because
so let's
there's
look
so
at
much coming in on a rapid basis.
Yeah, Supreme Court of Canada upholds BC Supreme Court's landmark decision protecting public health care. I'm getting this one from Yahoo News. Today, the Supreme Court of Canada, this is April 6th, so that was yesterday, dismissed Cambie Surgeries Corporation's attempt to overturn previous decisions made by BC's courts that upheld the BC Medicare Protection Act. This decision marks the end of the corporation's lengthy legal battle to overturn key provisions in the BC Medicare Protection Act that ensure equitable access to medically necessary services. BC's Act, at the center of the case, aims to preserve a publicly funded healthcare system where access to necessary medical care is based on patients' needs and not their ability to pay. Okay, keep going down on this. In the years since CSC launched this attack on publicly funded healthcare, our healthcare system has faced many challenges. So what did I miss?
Your wording. Keep going down on this. Don't you mean scrolling down? Yes, I'm a juvenile. I'm a 15-year-old boy in my head. You said it, though. Come on. You know I got to point it out. If I said it, you would have done it, right?
Oh, my God. Yes. In denying CSC's application to appeal, the Supreme Court of Canada upholds two previous decisions made by the BC Supreme Court on September 10th and the BC Court of Appeal on July 15th. BC Supreme Court on September 10th, 2020, and the BC Court of Appeal on July 15th, 2022, which both found that the evidence before the court showed that a duplicative private pay healthcare system would increase wait times in the publicly funded system and cause harm to all who depend on it. There you go. Okay. Well, good stuff.
Sorry. So this fella, you follow him as well, Craig Baird, Canadian History AX.
Yeah.
He just did an AI thing of Canadian politicians and former politicians gathering Easter eggs. And I got to put this one up because it's Jack Layton as a child. And yes, I made sure the mustache stayed. He's got some good ones in here. I'll scroll up because they're good for a chuckle. This is so you've got here's Justin Trudeau. I think this is that probably this could have been taken from his actual childhood for crying out loud, right? Justin Trudeau. These are AI, right? Okay, he's got a big one. And then check this one out. This one's hilarious. This one you have to look in the basket to get the joke on this one. Okay, this is Skippy.
Only the blue eggs. The red egg by his foot. He only collects the blue eggs. Oh, you know what would be a good counter one? Justin Trudeau eating only the red Smarties.
Scott Moe. Here's Scott Moe as a child.
Yes.
That's a good one. I like this one. This one I think is my favorite because it's. I thought it was actually him when I first looked at it. This is Doug Ford as a child on an Easter egg hunt. Hold on to your hats. I thought it was a real photo for a second.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice at all.
It's AI. It's AI.
I
That's
know, but come on. He's sitting on the ground and he's eating them already.
Oh.
No, come on. Oh, that's not nice.
It's funny.
Oh, man. Okay, before we go, Mr. Grizzly, I have two things for you. I have the greatest curling shot in the world, and I lined it right up to the part where he starts lining his delivery, so hopefully we can keep this under 30 seconds. I see the timer.
Okay. Let me know
when
you're ready.
I am ready.
Here we go. No sound.
Okay. Let's try that again. Yep. There we go.
Come back up. This would be the best shot in history if made. Oh, the crowd with a chuckle. I'm not sure if they're expecting this to actually be a.
Yeah, they don't realize this is an attempt.
Look at the spin on that rock.
Got to curl a little bit.
Oh, come on. Come on, Adine. Come on.
This is
it's real close. What's he got here? What's he got? Oh, unbelievable. Oh, my God. Will it sit? Come on. No. Let's go one more.
Spun back.
Oh.
That's about all I could show, I think. I think I might have just hit the 30 seconds on the nose.
So it's the greatest shot in history. I have no idea what just happened. You need to explain it to me.
Okay, it's the physics. So first of all, when you're trying to throw a rock, you generally want it to spin maybe 3 or 4 times as it goes through.
Spinning rapidly.
It spinned it, I think, 45 times, people calculated. But it's physics. By spinning that way, with the 2 rocks there that were pretty much close to locked, by spinning it, it made it bounce off the yellow rock and for the red rock to go outwards. Like this. And then because it was spinning at the end, when it bit on the ice, instead of going further backwards, it actually spinned back upwards. So that allowed him to score 2.
Oh, okay.
Right? Rather than and he needed 2 to provoke an extra end.
Okay. Again, I don't
No.
really understand the game, so
Yeah, but it's just the physics. It's the way that it turns when it hits the other rock, the gear effect, the way it bounces off of it, in that
Mhm.
way. So it was with so much force.
you
So
got to get Devin's input on that one because he'll be able to
yeah,
explain it to me,
but
obviously. But it'd be great to have him on the show to talk about that.
so you know that there are people all over Canada right now, like who booked practice ice this weekend
To do that,
to
yeah.
try that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to try that. I'm definitely going to try that.
So it's never been done before in competition, I guess.
I don't think so. Not in competition.
Well, I've never seen it. I've never
I've
seen
never
the
seen
rock
it
spin
either.
like that before. I'm like, whoa, that's a
Yeah.
little wild.
I've seen the 360 delivery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the person throws it, does a 360. You ever seen that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Again, I don't know a lot about the sport, and I don't watch it. I can appreciate. I've watched highlights, and I've watched the Homan squad literally throw rocks that I'm like, how did you make that happen? I don't understand. Like thread the needle, and when there's a whole bunch of stones in the way, thread the needle, curl on in, and land on the button. The button's the center, right? The bullseye.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't really understand it, but I do appreciate the amount of effort that goes into the sport, and how much science, physics, because you got to pay attention to the air temperature in the rink, the surface of the ice. What is the ice like? How pebbled is it? How much spin? How much, like, there's a lot of science that goes into it.
Oh, yeah.
So I really do appreciate all of that, but I don't understand the game per se. But I've watched them. Like, now we get an overhead shot, so that's one thing. But when you're looking at it straight on, you can't really exactly tell where everything is distance wise. So to be able
Yeah.
to do what they do is mind blowing to me.
Yeah. So here's the 360 shot, Mr. Grizzly. This is Jeff Stoughton from Manitoba.
So that way the light won't go on. Here's the spin.
Here we go.
Okay, I've seen that. I thought that was a showboating thing.
The game of curling and the people who play it. Listen to this. This is for a man who's down 10-4.
So he was down 10-4. He had nothing to lose. So yeah, he did a 360. So that I had seen before, but spinning the rock like that, never.
Yeah, it's a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, never.
New to me.
Yeah. And I have one final thing before we leave, just to leave it on a happy note, because it is a Good Friday. I noticed that our dear Skippy's profile on Open Parliament needed a little amending for some truth in advertising purposes. Mr. Grizzly, if you would put it up.
Sure.
Now, you will notice here that we have the Honorable Pierre Poilievre, political affiliation Conservative, constituency Carleton, province territory Ontario, preferred language English.
Preferred language Anglo-Saxon.
I've been up to
Seems
no good
accurate to me.
kitties.
Want to give a shout out to our friend John and my old buddy John. I'm just putting a link in the chat to his online radio station, blasttheradio.com. Check it out. Like I said, they're on Twitch. They're all wherever you get your fine streaming platforms. But he was one of the very first in the world to have a license to stream music live on Twitch, which is really cool because he's an old buddy,
Yeah. Right. And as promised, before we go, we are going to say thank you to the wonderful kids who have sent us some support and encouragement in the form of tips this week. So thank you very much to Kit Rebecca, who sent us a little message based on a tweet that I put up. Said, the Pointer Sisters parody tune began my day with giggles. Thanks. I posted a little parody of I'm so excited. I'm so indicted. And I changed the words a little bit. I had seen a meme but before it with it, but I added a couple of extra words.
In the poetry of Neil Peart from Rush, begin the day with a friendly voice, a companion unobtrusive.
Ooh.
Spirit of radio.
I like that.
Great song.
All right. What else? Let's see. And then we had Kit Linda M. Sending us a message. Really enjoying the guests you've been interviewing. The daily podcast has become a staple of my day. Thanks for the information and entertainment. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Kit Linda, our favorite Kit. Thank you very much. And Kit, I still do not know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So if you could give us a pronunciation next time you correspond with us. But I believe it's Aina, A-I-N-A, Kit Aina or Aina. I'm not sure. But Kit Aina writes in and said, love your podcast. Mr. Beaver singing, I'm dreaming of a... Okay. I'm dreaming of a Trump mugshot. Put a silly grin on my face. Thank you both. I didn't nail the timing in the second verse, but you got the point and you loved it. So thank you very much, kids. So yeah, thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Bum-ba-dee-da, 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 bum-ba. Happy trails to you.
Until we meet
again. I'm not a singer. I think you can tell by that.
Oh, man.
Is it Sarika or Sarika? We want to get it right.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I keep on saying Sarika.
Sarika?
Yeah. Miss Sarika Sakari.
Sarika Sakari. We want to get it right. We do.
Yes. And Mohan as well. The kids alerted me yesterday on the show because I didn't see it that you said that you had something, and for me it's curling related. Shadeka.
Thank you. Shadeka.
Okay. So
it's Hungarian, correct? Is it Hungarian? I think it is. Yeah. Did you check the email? She sent you an email yesterday.
And so we've been corresponding. I do not know what it is. So, and I don't want to know what it is in advance because I like surprises. But I'm told that it is curling related. And so thank you very much. And thank you to the kids that alerted my attention to that. Because.
So I'm going to try another pronunciation. Shadeka or Shadeka. D-A-D-E-H, day. Right? Like A. Shadeka.
I need an apostrophe.
It is Hungarian.
It is Hungarian. There you go.
Oh. I was guessing.
Yeah.
I was guessing. At the pronunciation, I was guessing. Shadeka or Shadika? Sha, like deka. Shadeka. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. There, see? Ask and ye shall receive.
There you go. So, and this is the I'm so excited tweet that earned us. So
he's so indicted. And he just can't hide it. He's about to lose control, and we're right here for it.
He's so indicted, and he just can't hide it. Oh no! And we know. We want convict you. Boom, boom.
That works out so perfectly.
Follow the bouncing orange, kids.
So perfectly.
Oh man! So yeah. That's this episode of the Daily Beaver Kits. Kind of bonus, I guess, because, well, it's Good Friday Beaver. Let's call it that way, right? Good Friday Beaver. We hope that you enjoy this because we love making this for you.
I'm not pursuing the joke there. There's a joke there. I'm not pursuing it. I'm going to let it go. The scrolling Chiron is enough.
Let it go.
Let it free your mind. Let it lose control.
Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So let your peeps know about us. And if you get any chocolate bunnies, remember to eat the ears first. Or maybe you're the type of person who eats the cottontail first.
Well, I've got a surprise for Tuesday's show. We might be doing a show Monday. You're going to determine whether or not you've got a connection, right?
Yeah, I know that Monday. Yeah,
it's up in the air right now.
But maybe if not, we might be able to record something to show Monday over the course of the weekend.
Well, I think that's what we should do because I'm actually going to be working on recording some stuff tomorrow. That's going to be a surprise for you.
Oh, surprise
got
for
a
me?
surprise for you. Yeah, it's going to be, well, it's a surprise for everybody, actually, but it'll be a surprise for you as well. I'll do a little recording on the weekend with a friend and colleague, and we'll have a little snippet for you on Monday's show. So we'll have something for you for Monday, period.
Joy. Okay.
Whether it's live or pre-recorded, we will have something for you on Monday.
Excellent. Because democracy is something that you do. Right. And you know what, kids? For anything, at this point,
Mhm.
if it's bothering you enough that you're yelling something at whatever screen you're looking at, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, write. Just make it a standard operating procedure. It's the best thing. Trust me. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network, as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are appreciated. Mr. Deka, very nice. Beaver Day is now one of my favorites too. I prefer that over Good Friday anyhow. Nothing bothers me when I watch you guys ever. That's what we want. Thank you. We want you to be very, very comfortable in our home. We love to hear from you, so please reach us on our Facebook, True North Eager Beaver, or on our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.ca. Or you can subscribe to us via our pod page, podpage.com, at podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, with a hyphen between each one of those words. Or if you're watching on our YouTube page, please smash those buttons and subscribe. The numbers are going very, very well. Thank you so very much. That helps us out big time, and we can't do this without you or your kind or generous support. So if you thought that we've done a particularly good show today, well, why not do like Kit Linda M and Kit Aina and Kit Misadeka and go, well, that little thing that you see there, that little funny looking thing right up there by Mr. Grizzly's head. That's a QR code. And if you're watching, you can take your cell phone and just take a little picture of that. And that will bring you to our emergency Guinness and hot chocolate fund.
And coffee. I'm almost out.
Look at that. You can't let a Beaver Grizzly go without coffee.
I'm out. That's empty.
That's a terrible thing.
Yeah,
so if you want to help a bear out, brother bear out, you can go to our coffee page. That's coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word, and you can make your contribution, which will earn our undying loyalty and affection. Well, you pretty much already got it from listening, but you got to sweeten the pot, right? And there's more. Well, from the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, some words of wisdom, s'il vous plaît.
Sure thing. What's going to happen is, I'm just going to highlight something here for a split second. What happens is the coffee funds that you send me helps to pay for all of this. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 webcams. If I pull down, let me pull down. Hang on a second. I'll just pull that down for a sec. There's another webcam. See, got 3 PTZ cams, and then this fixed one back here that we're looking through. You can see multiple microphones. We have complete mobile studio stuff as well. So, my own money. And why is that camera not turning off? There we go. To make this a reality, and no regrets, none. But it'd be nice to get a little bit of money to help pay for all of this, because it is expensive. It's not cheap. Mm-hmm. I had to buy a new modem, had to buy a new router, had to increase my bandwidth capacity so we could do all of this. And again, we love doing this for you, and we're going to do this until we can't anymore. So you're probably going to have us well into our 90s, or whichever one of us dies first, right?
If I go first, continue my legacy.
Of course I would. Of course I would.
Mr. Grizzly, if you would put it up, just to let you know what you kids have been doing for us. I'm going to blow that up a little more. Monthly YouTube subscribers for March, up 73.7%. month over month. Monthly YouTube views up 41.3% month over month. Monthly YouTube hours watched up 55%. And monthly Twitter followers up 20% for March. And then, of course, our downloads up 60% month over month. And, over 1,000 unique listeners in 30 days. And that's just podcast downloads.
You're helping us grow.
Everywhere else. Yeah. So we're growing. And yeah, and the network sent us some data the other day saying that we were among the most downloaded shows on the network. So that's all you kids.
Nice.
That's all you.
I didn't know that.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, they didn't send. Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. It's very very short. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we love you. We never thought that this was gonna happen for us this way. So we are blessed. We are fortunate. And that's what we're taking with us into the weekend. We hope you do too. And Mr. Grizzly, roll the credits, please.
Just give me a second here till I find them. There we go.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Yeah, he's still dancing. I don't know, dude. The music stopped. I don't know what you're hearing. But, dance to the beat of your own drummer if that's what it takes.
'Tis only the people who don't hear the music who think the dancer's mad.
All right. We'll see you. Have a good weekend.